Okay, we're in round 1. I'm going to keep this hand. It needs help, but it's a pretty good distribution of spells and lands, and like I said, we can easily play Release the Gremlins at 3 mana. In fact, kind of looks like it's worth it at this point. And we got the Chaser, so just an excellent draw off the top there. All right, let's get the Chaser down. Okay, so I can't really attack into that, but here's a Swooper. I think we'll play the Puzzle Knot. We'll get some Scry going. Because then next turn we can set up with the Rebel and start just blowing things up, which is going to be really strong. So let's play Puzzle Knot here and Scry. Virtuoso and Theorist. Both of those are actually very good. So let's put the Theorist on top first into the Virtuoso. Play the land. And we can't attack because of the Drake. So we'll just keep the Chaser back and pass. So if we can find another... All right, well... oh, unfortunately they're going to get our Rebel here. Okay. We're still okay. Once we play the Virtuoso, we get to immediately spit out 2 guys, which is good. It's actually the second time I've seen Harsh Scrutiny in 2 drafts, so that is interesting, because I feel like this card was not played too terribly much when it was Triple Kaladesh, but back-to-back drafts where I see it played against me, certainly not enough to say it's a running theme, especially given that this is an uncommon out of 1 pack of drafting, but I guess, I mean, I never hated Harsh Scrutiny. It seems like it's actually a fine card. It's just, I guess I'm more surprised I didn't see it much in Triple Kaladesh. So our opponent wisely chooses Quicksmith Rebel since that's a real game breaker. They know the Release the Gremlins is there now, so I'm curious if that means they're going to be more cautious. Well, apparently not. Not a care in the world. Okay. So attacking with the Drake because they can still block with the Skiff. Virtuoso now, so we probably just play the Virtuoso and pass. Next turn we're getting the Aether Theorist, right? So we're still not going to be able to... This takes 3 to use again as well, but let's just play Virtuoso and pass. We can set up for a Release the Gremlins. We're not in huge danger yet, but I mean, we're starting to get there. They have a decent fleet of flyers here, but remember, we can at least deal with the Sky Skiff at will. Our opponent can draw now off of Dockhand and get some card advantage, so we might just have to use the Release the Gremlins here shortly. Okay. Not attacking. So it looks like they're going to just use their Dockhand, which is fine. So let's make some Thopters. Makes our Gearseeker Serpent cheaper. So we'll untap. We're going to draw the Theorist. I could have Scryed, but does not quite seem worth it yet. So, do I want to blow up the dockhand or the skiff? It's a reasonable question. I feel like we can win. I mean, I don't want them to draw an extra card. I think I might actually just use the puzzle knot. We want the land for next turn so we can blow up 2 things. So we're just going to pass. We're going to blow up our own puzzle knot. Makes the best use of mana. So they get to draw a card. They're getting some pretty good card advantage here. We're still going to be looking pretty good on our next turn. Okay, I'm curious if they're just going to be countering, perhaps. We'll see. So we got the island. We're going to leave both of these on top. And we'll use the Virtuoso again. We're going to untap, and we're going to blow up their card advantage here if we can. So they're going to draw another card. Okay. That's reasonable too. And remember, we get to attack with the Thopters because Hinterland Drake cannot block artifacts. So we can get in with our Thopters. In fact, the only thing holding me back was the Skiff from attacking here. So no reason to attack with the Virtuoso or Chaser. They would just eat our Chaser and they would take an extra 2, which is not worth it. So we'll just get in for our 3. Be happy enough about that. And now we can play Gear Seeker Serpent for, what, 4 mana? So 4 mana, 5/6 that can be unblockable with 1 more mana. Very good. Could actually play the Theorist and the Swooper next turn. That would allow us to make another Thopter token. Implement of Malice is pretty irrelevant. We can discard probably the Swooper because it can't attack into the Drake anyway, and I'd rather have 3 energy for an immediate Thopter. In fact, they're not even using Implement, which is interesting. There's our Hungry Flame, so let's just do that now so we can smash. I could have actually played the Theorist in case they have some sort of way to deal with Virtuoso, because that way I can, in response, make another Thopter, but that ship has sailed. Cruel Finality, that's actually just fine. We don't need our Chaser anymore. So let's get our damage in here, which is quite a bit of damage. And we'll play the Theorist. I'm still okay playing this, I think. They would need Yahini's expertise in order to get us here, which is a rare. So I'm not going to play around a rare until I see it. Okay, Automaton, no big deal. Okay, they concede. I would have used Implement if I were them so that they could get another piece of information, but that's all right. Maybe, I guess they already knew what the last 2 cards in our hand were from the Harsh Scrutiny, so maybe they're right. It was irrelevant. So we know they're splashing for red. What else is their deck really doing? So Merchant's Dockhand is just a way to get card advantage, which is good. Skiff is just a good card on its own. Hinterland Drake is fine, a 3-mana 2/3 flyer with minor downside. Synergistically speaking, we haven't seen like a running theme from our opponent's deck. I assume it's more artifact related just based on like Dockhand, but I don't even know if that's a safe assumption, so why don't we just... I think we're definitely going to keep it the same, though. Because, well, I mean, we could do negate, but it does counter some of the things we saw, but not enough where I care. Also, negate is probably much better in this format with vehicles, right? That's kind of cool, actually. I didn't think about that. Wasn't immediately in my thought process with negate, but yeah, negate is probably better in a format that has vehicles. But I still don't think we need to bring it in, and I like everything we're doing, and I loved how Virtuoso played there, so that was great. Let's do that again. Yes, this is definitely a keep. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have the scrutiny. We'll find out. All right, Automaton I'm much happier with. I don't want to get scrutinied. Okay, so I guess our plan is to go Virtuoso into like Infiltrator, I suppose. Oh, it looks like they have a follow-up. Okay, Skiff is very good. Automaton is fine. Oops. So I probably am willing to just trade my Automaton for theirs. I think that's reasonable. Theirs is going to get a lot better in the mid to late if they have the mana to support it. Alright, so it looks like they're more just getting in with Skiff, which is sensible. Skiff is quite good. Alright, no play though. That's great news for us. So there's a Rebel. Now I'm really happy I kept my Automaton. Although we'd have it with the Virtuoso too. So let's get in for 2 and then play Virtuoso. I'm debating whether I'd rather attach the Rebel to my Thopter. And the reason is I can't really comfortably attack with the Thopter unless my opponent keeps going in with the Skiff. But I almost would rather put a bigger... Basically, I'd rather my opponent go for the Thopter than put a target sign on my Automaton, which I think does make sense. All right, so let's spit out a Thopter. Untap. We're definitely playing Rebel here because we can just get value right now. So the question still remains, would I rather attach it to a Thopter or an Automaton? We're going to attach it to a Thopter. Given that my opponent's got 2 flyers, and I do have to remember Drake cannot block my Thopter, which is important. It cannot block the Automaton either, but the Skiff can. So even though I'm going to be blowing up the Automaton here, I assume they're just going to crew in response. So let's just Rebel, attach to Thopter. So our Automaton is not a bigger target, and we're just going to kill the augmenting Automaton right now. We just get that immediate value. Take care of a card. So we'll pass now. Next turn we can go either Infiltrator or Gear Smasher plus Swooper. Okay, not intimidated by that. My opponent can draw 2 though. Looks like they are. No further play, which is also fine. So yeah, this is actually pretty nice. So here's what we get to do. We get to untap, we get another land. So we'll play our land. We're going to swing with Virtuoso and Welder Automaton. And opponent has to block the Automaton with the Skiff. and then we can just kill the skiff. And I'm happy to trade an automaton for a skiff. I think that's a completely fair trade for us. I straight up just think it's a better trade for us than it is for my opponent. And we've got some good follow-up plays anyway, so okay. We get our 2 damage in. We finish the skiff off. And then we play Infiltrator plus Swooper. Unfortunate that we're going to lose our Thopter here, but... So it looks like we're going to lose Swooper plus Thopter. Okay. We're still in pretty good shape here, actually. Okay shape, but I mean, our opponent's still got some card advantage on us. The land there was a pretty bad one. But we get to smash with everything, which is nice. I assume they're just going to trade for the snap trade for the Infiltrator. They'll take another 5. And then we'll play the Gear Smasher. So, I mean, we're working towards a good plan here. Do I need to sandbag lands? No, we actually want to play lands, because if we draw Gear Seeker Serpent, we're going to have to pay the full price here. Cruel Finality on that. Okay. And then follow-up play of a Freighter. Sure. Okay. More damage getting in. Chandra's Revolution, very good. So let's get in for 4. And, I mean, at this point, I really like how Virtuoso and Gear Smasher interact together. Obviously, we need... I'm going to definitely sandbag this land, though. Even though I need it for... We know that our opponent's playing the Black Implement. So I would prefer to not... All right, well, we have the Revolution for that. So that's actually okay. And I guess we can keep their red mana tapped if we want. Oops, no. I did that already. I don't want to do it again. I had an opponent do that too. I see why it's so easy to do that with Revolution. You pay the cost, you choose what you want to blow up, and you don't expect that second prompt for a land, and you're used to immediately then tapping your land. So I bet that's happened a lot online, honestly. So now we're just... We're one artifact away from just winning the game here. Because then we can just Gear Smash our way through. Okay. No more play from our opponent, so excellent win from our deck there. That was great. Saw some actually very good cards from our opponent's deck, too. Like, Predicament played well for them. The Freighter would have been good. I love Freighter and Skiff. They're my 2 favorite from Kaladesh. Well, I guess Smuggler's Copter is my favorite, but you get what I'm saying. At common. Yeah, opponent's deck seemed fine, but like I said, it wasn't like a thematic, synergistic deck. It was more of just like, here's some good cards mixed together. All right, so we'll see you round 2, folks.